Welcome to the Hamsing Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Paulo Navarro. Today is Monday, October 15, 2012. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline differential closed at 997. Nasdaq advanced decline differential closed at 641. We had 13 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and 3 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. For the volatility, 607,000 contracts traded on the VIX today, with 42 million in total premiums paid. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio in October, we saw a 6.45, which is very bullish, with 40% of the total premiums paid. And in November, a 0.29, which is bearish, with 40% of the total premiums paid. Here we have the daily chart for SPX. We are closing up 11.5 handles for the day, or 0.8%. Very nice day here. We closed at 1440, and we have a nice bounce of what we called on last week, short-term oversold. So here we're watching our next target, 1447. That's going to be 0 sigma. Very important level to break to the upside and continue our way higher, maybe because of earnings. This week we have very important names coming out with EPS. For the 30-minute chart, 60-minute chart, here we have the daily support, weekly support, pivot, and resistance. And here you can see the levels. We are right now at weekly pivot of 1438, which looks maybe we're going to go higher. We were rallying pretty much the whole day, finishing almost at the highs of the day, which was pretty positive overall here for the markets. Another important thing, so the target here to look at is 1450, of course, that after breaking the 0 sigma of 1447, and then maybe get even up to 1473. That's a little overextended here on the short term, but those are the targets. If we do fail here, we're looking for 1415 and 1400. That's gonna be very important, and that's what we're looking up so far here. Let's look at the moving averages chart. Here we have SPX daily. We bounced off this 50-day moving average, and it was pretty important here. We talked about this support. We did not want to break this support, previous high with 50-day moving average, and we had a big update today, bouncing off. Maybe now test that 20-day moving average. We just talked about it, and maybe go even and try to test the highs of the year for this SPX chart. Going to SPY, pretty much the same, a big update today. You could see it off the 50-day moving average, maybe going to 144.86. That's going to be the 20-day moving average, and if we break that, try to test these two highs here. First, try to test this one, and after that, the highs of the year. We have EPS this week, and next week we have a couple of weeks after that, but the big dogs are coming out, IBM, Goldman Sachs, this week and next week. Also, it's going to be very important right now. For the weekly support, pivot, and resistance on SPY, here we have our targets of 145 and then 147 on the upside. On the downside, maybe looking for 149.69 and even 140.50. Those are going to be the two targets here. Remember, we were a little bit oversold in the very short term. Now going to the Qs. Here we have the Nasdaq ETF, and we talked about being a little bit oversold on this one again. Nasdaq had been hit harder than the other indices, and here we have below weekly pivot of 67.32, maybe looking for a target of 68.10. That's going to be our first target, and then 69.50. On the downside, maybe look for that 66 level we talked about as being some support here. So that's what we're looking at here on the support, pivot, and resistance for the Qs. As for the daily chart, here we're looking for this 68.34. That's going to be the 50-day moving average. Maybe try to test that. That's pretty close to the 20-day moving average. Some confluence on those two levels, so maybe try to look for the target. If we fail, we're looking for the 100-day moving average of 65.80. That's going to be the target here. Now let's go to the IWM. Russell 2000 ETF. Here we have the daily chart, and we have an interesting reversal here. We were at the lows, We broke the 50-day moving average and here our support, and we talked about maybe going to the 80.16. Well, today it reversed, getting a bullish signal here and closing above those two levels. So we're going to have to watch more carefully what's going to happen maybe with the market. Looks like we're starting to get some positive momentum here, and maybe tomorrow try to bounce to this 83.20 and then try to go for the 20-day moving average of 83.84. If we do that, we want to break this short-term downtrend we have here, break that and maybe go and test this 85. That's gonna be here the target. If we failed at this level, go for 80.16, which is the 200-day moving average. For the weekly support, pivot, and resistance, we are looking at 83.34 and then 84.62. Those are going to be our targets on the upside. On the downside, 81.30 and 80.64. Now let's go here to GLD and the daily chart for GLD. Here we have the daily chart for GLD. Very bad day for gold. Low down 1%. Now at 168.34. We talked about this 169, 168 level. A little pullback here. Tried to test this lows. We broke it, but we are closing at them. Looks like gold is getting some bearish momentum here. Now the 10-day moving average is crossing the 20-day moving average, which is not very positive. And maybe we're going to come back here to this 165.60, 166 level, 50-day moving average. That's going to be a good entry point here on the long side if we hold. Maybe a little pullback after this huge run we had. Pull back to 166, 165, and then try to go back to this 171 level. Now we're turning a little bit more bearish or more caution here on gold. That's going to be the plan here. Last chart we're going to look at is the VIX as usual. And we're going to look at the daily chart for the VIX. Here we have the daily chart for the VIX. We have a down day, 5.4%, and we are at 0 sigma right now. We had an outside day reversal on Friday. Maybe we thought we were going to go a little higher to test this 200-day moving average, but it seems like we're failing. Lower highs here, all the time lower highs. Maybe come back even to 1430. Very low levels in the VIX, but we can remain here at this level for a pretty long time, so nothing here on the VIX so far. We have a special offer by TradeStation. Get your HEMC Analytics proprietary indicators paid by TradeStation. Contact Active Traders office in Chicago, Peter Albino, at the number listed below. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.